everyone, welcome back to Pabbly. In this video, we're going to learn how to create Mailgun member on Paperform submission. So I am an owner of a fashion apparel store, and using Paperform, I have created a form with the help of which I am collecting my leads data that is embedded on my website. And using Mailgun, I manage the email list of my business. Here what I want is that as soon as beneath the lead, a new form submission is going to be done using Paperform, I want to create that lead as a member in my Mailgun account in the list that I've created. Now doing this manually is very time consuming. So what I've done is I've simply automated this entire process with the help of Pabbly Connect, which is an amazing automation and integration software. And here in this automation, I'm going to build a connection between Paperform and Mailgun with the help of it. So if you also want to learn about this amazing automation process step by step, for that let me take you to my screen.
In this video, we're going to learn how to create Mailgun member on Paperform submission. So as an owner of a fashion apparel business, collecting leads and engaging customers is crucial for growing my brand. I use Paperform to create stylish, user-friendly contact forms embedded on my website. And I use Mailgun to manage my email list and send beautifully crafted promotional emails to my customers and my leads. The problem that I faced was manually processing and transferring the customer's data from Paperform to my Mailgun list. This was very time consuming and prone to errors. So what I've done is I've simply automated this entire process. By connecting Paperform to Mailgun, every time now by the lead, whenever a new form submission is going to be done using Paperform, automatically that lead is going to be created as a member in my Mailgun account. And for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create this amazing automation between Paperform and Mailgun with the help of Pabbly Connect. So on the screen, you can see the website of Pabbly Connect, that is pabbly.com/connect. After browsing this website, we need to sign into our Pabbly Connect account. But if you're a new user, you can sign up for free and get 100 free tasks every month. So as I'm an existing user, I'm going to sign into my Pabbly Connect account. After signing in, you can see the All Pabbly Apps window in front of you, in which you can see all the applications of Pabbly, from which we are going to select Pabbly Connect by clicking on this Access Now button. Then Pabbly Connect's dashboard is going to appear in front of you. In order to start an automation process in Pabbly Connect, we need to create a workflow. For that, click on this top right corner button right here that says Create Workflow. A dialog box is then going to appear in front of you, which is asking for the workflow name and for us to select a folder. So for the name of my workflow over here, I'm going to give it as Create Mailgun Member on Paperform Submission. So this is the name that I want to give to my workflow, okay? After that, it is asking for us to select a folder. So on the left side of my screen, you can see I've created multiple folders in my Pabbly Connect account, from which I'm going to select a specific folder in which I want to save this workflow in. For that, click on this drop down. These are the folders from which I'm going to select Paperform Automations as the folder I want to save this workflow in. After giving the name to the workflow and selecting the folder, I'm going to click on this Create button in order to create a workflow. A workflow is created in the name of Create Mailgun Member on Paperform Submission, and there are two windows in front of you. One says Trigger, other says Action. So what is Trigger and Action? Trigger and action are the two most important steps of our automation process because our process depends on these two concepts. Over here, trigger says when this happens and action says do this. That means what is action? Action is a response towards our trigger. In an automation process, there can be only one trigger step but multiple action steps. We are going to set up our trigger step. And for the trigger application, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it as Paperform. Paperform is an online form builder that makes it easy for businesses and individuals to create beautiful customizable forms, landing page or surveys without any coding. And using Paperforms, I have created a form with the help of which I am collecting my leads data. So this is the form that I've created using which I'm going to collect my leads data. So over here, what I want is that as soon as the form submission is going to be done by the lead using this form using Paperform, automatically Pabbly Connect should capture the response of that. And that is why for my trigger, I'm going to select it as Paperform. And for the trigger event, I'm going to select it as new form submission. After that, to connect Paperform to Pabbly Connect has provided us with the webhook URL. Using this webhook URL, we are going to build a connection between Paperform and Pabbly Connect by following the steps given here below in the help desk. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to copy this URL from here. After copying the URL, I'm going to open the form that I want to connect to Pabbly Connect. So this is the form that I've created that I want to connect to Pabbly Connect. In order to connect, from this panel, go to this After Submission option. And from the drop down, go to this Integration and Webhooks page right here. As I'm going to do that and scroll down, over here it says webhooks. I'm going to click on it. I want to add a new webhook. For that, I'm going to click on this button right here. it's asking for the URL right here. So for the URL, I'm going to paste the webhook URL that Pabbly Connect has provided us. And for the trigger on, I'm going to select as new submission as I want to receive the response of the new submission being done using this form, okay? And then I'm going to click on this create button. As I'm going to do that, a new webhook is now been added to this form right here. As now the webhook URL is successfully added to my form that I've created using Paperform. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my workflow and scroll down. It is saying waiting for webhook response. So now to check whether Paperform is connected to Pabbly Connect or not, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the test submission of this form that I've created using it. And after doing the test submission, I'm going to check whether Pabbly Connect captures the response of the test submission being done or not. For doing the test submission, I'm going to go to the share option right here. This is the URL of this. I'm going to open this from here and open it in a new tab right over here. So this is the form that I've created using Paperform, using which the leads are going to be generated for my business. It is asking for all the leads details. Firstly, it is asking for the first name. So for the first name over here, I'm going to write it as test. For the last name over here, I'm going to write it as leads34. For the email over here, I'm going to write it as testleads34@pabblytudes.com. And for the phone number over here, I'm going to write in a dummy mobile number. After filling in all the required details, I'm going to click on the submit button to the test submission. As I've done that, it says submission successful. This means the submission has now been done successfully. As now the submission is done, I'm going to open my workflow and scroll down. You can see right over here, Pabbly Connect has captured the response of the test submission being done. We have received the submission ID. You can see right over here, the trigger comes as submission. This is the other ID. If I'm going to further scroll down and tally the response of the form submission, over here for the phone number, this is the dummy mobile number that we have entered. Email comes as testleads34@pabblytudes.com. First name over here comes as test. Last name comes as leads34 and all the other details. As the response of the form submission has been captured, this means that Paperform has now been successfully connected to Pabbly Connect and a trigger setup is done. Now by the lead, whenever a new form submission is going to be done using Paperform automatically, in the similar manner, Pabbly Connect is going to capture the response of that, okay? After setting up a trigger step, we need to set up our action step. And here what I want is, I want to create this lead as a member in my Mailgun account. Now for that, we're going to set up our action step. And for the action application over here, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to select it as Mailgun. Mailgun is a powerful email delivery service designed for businesses to send, receive, and track emails with ease. It's mainly used by developers and marketers to manage email communication, like sending newsletters, transactional emails, or automated campaigns. And I want to add that lead as a member in my Mailgun account. And that is why for my action application, I've selected it as Mailgun. And for the action event, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select as new mailing list member. I'm going to select this action. After selecting the action application and the event right over here, I'm going to click on this connect button. A window is going to appear in front of you on which you can select the existing connection that you have, but I'm going to add a new connection right here. After that, over here it is asking for the API key, private API key, Mailgun host, and the domain. By entering these details, we're going to build the connection between Mailgun and Pabbly Connect. Now for doing that, what I'm going to do is, for having all these details, I'm going to go back to my Mailgun account. So this is my Mailgun account right over here, and to have all these details, I'm going to go to this profile section right here. After coming to the profile section, from the drop down, I'm going to go to this API security right here. As I'm going to do that, I'm going to enter a new key. For that, I'm going to click on this add new key button. For the description over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write it as new Mailgun member. This is the key. I'm going to create this key from here. As I'm going to do that, you can see right over here, the API key is now been created. I'm going to copy it from here and paste this API key right here, okay? After entering the API key, the private API key is same as the API key. So for that, I'm going to paste this API key right here. Next, it is asking for the Mailgun host. For that, I'm going to go back to my Mailgun account. So this is my Mailgun account, and over here you can see my host is US. You can see right over here, this is the region, okay? And according to this region, we have to enter the host, and how we're going to do that. In the help test for the region US, you can see this is the host. So as I have the US region right over here, so for the host, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to copy this host from here and paste it right over here, okay? But if you have the host as EU, then you can copy this from here and paste it right over here, okay? After entering the Mailgun host, is asking for the domain name. For the domain name, I'm going to go back to my Mailgun account. From the left side of the panel, go to the send option right here. After coming to send, go to the sending and then go to this domain section right here. As I'm going to come to this domain section over here, this is the domain. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this domain name from here and paste this domain name right over here, okay? And then I'm going to click on the save button. As I'm going to do that, Mailgun is then going to be connected to Pabbly Connect. After connecting, it is over here asking for the list. So in my Mailgun account, I have created a list in the name of leads list. You can see right over here. And in this list, I want to create all my members in. So what I'm going to do is, for the list over here, I'm going to select it as leads list. Okay. After that, it is asking for the address. This is the email address of the member that we are going to add in this list right here. So for the data of this field, what we're going to do is we're going to map the data. Mapping means inserting data from the previous step. So we're going to insert the data from the previous step of this workflow. How mapping works is that as soon as I'm going to click on this field, this was the previous step, that is Paperform new form submission. As I'm going to click on it, this was the same response that was captured in our previous step. It is asking for the email address. Over here in the response, I have received the email address of the lead that have done the form submission. And I want to create this lead as a member in my Mailgun account. So for the data of this field, I'm going to select the data from my previous response of the email address. As I've selected the data from my previous response, the data is mapped. And as I map the data has now become dynamic. That means whenever a new response is going to be captured in our previous step, automatically the new data is going to be updated in place of this mapped data. Next, it is asking for the update. That means if this member has already been created in this list right over here in our Mailgun account, do you want to update this existing member? I'm going to select over here as yes, okay. Then it is asking for the member's name. For that, I'm going to map the name of the member, that is first name space the last name, okay. After filling in all the required details, I'm going to click on this Save and Send Test Request button. As I'm going to do that, you can see right over here, a new member has been created. This is a positive response. So now I'm going to open my Mailgun account. This is my Mailgun account right here. I'm going to refresh this list from here. As I've refreshed this leads list right over here, I'm going to scroll down. And as I'm going to scroll down, you can see a new member has been successfully created in my Mailgun account in the name of testlead34@pabblytudes.com with the name as testlead34. As the member has been successfully created, this means that we have successfully created an automation between Paperform and Mailgun with the help of Pabbly Connect. So now to sum till now what we have done over here for my trigger, I've selected it as Paperform new form submission. As whenever a new form submission is going to be done by the customer using Paperforms, automatically over here in the trigger, Pabbly Connect is going to capture the response. And as I wanted to create that lead as a member in my Mailgun account, for that I've set up this action step in which for the action application I've selected it as Mailgun and for the action event as new mailing list member. And this was how you create this amazing automation between these two applications with Pabbly Connect. So this was it for this video. Thank you so much for watching.
Not just with these applications, you can create automation between multiple other applications with the help of Pabbly Connect. If you have any questions, you can contact us on support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can check the queries on forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, then you can check out this link. If you like this video, please do subscribe to our channel, hit on the like button, comment on if you have any questions or doubts, and please share this video.